Alright, so I hope everybody have their coffee ready and are excited to jump into lecture 1. So in this lecture, we're going to talk about Sketcher's block and how to overcome that, because it's a pain when you have it. It might be, usually for me, that happens in the mornings when my brain is not really fully awake yet and I need to come up with something creative or shapes or something like that. So what I do, first of all, I grab a cup of coffee because that seems to solve half of the problem at least. For the second half of the problem, I start with a blank sheet of paper like this. Now, it might seem intimidating with a blank sheet of paper because you feel the pressure to fill it with something cool, right? With something creative or whatever. But that's the wrong, kind of the wrong way of thinking of this particular problem. When you have it, you don't want to think of it as you need to fill the paper. Basically, what you don't want to think at all. You want to keep your hand moving all the time without even thinking what it is you're doing. That way, your hand is always one step ahead of your thinking, and you don't really sketch what you think, but you sketch just what you feel. So, for example, I can start out like this. Okay, so what we have here, now, obviously this does not make sense to anybody, not even yourself probably. It doesn't make sense to me right now. But the cool thing is that we're starting to see some shapes in here now. And we're starting to see that maybe out of this we can start to connect some of these dots here, some of these edges, and start to connect these to make something that eventually is going to be something really cool. And the crazy thing about this is while you're doing this, you automatically start, you start your brain up by doing this. Even if you don't really think about it, but your brain is starting to wake up, so to speak, and come up with ideas that you can continue to develop through this method. And if you fill a paper like this, a sheet of paper like this, with random shapes, and you still feel like, man, this is not working out for me, I got nothing. You don't have to worry, just make another sheet of paper like this. And if you see that on the previous sheet of paper you made a lot of circles, for example, you might want to think about making another sheet of paper doing, let's say, cubes. Why not? In perspective or not, it doesn't matter. So what the point here is just to start getting your hand to move. That's the whole idea with this exercise. And I tell you, it helps me almost every single time when I have a Sketcher's block and I feel like nothing is coming out and it gets frustrating. I start doing this. So try it out, and I think it's gonna work for you too. I really hope so. If it doesn't, just keep doing a few sheets like this, and I can almost guarantee that after the third sheet, your Sketcher's block is going to be unblocked.